My fiance Adam has 4 kids from his former partners, twin daughters, preschoolers, another daughter pre-tween and a son preschooler. I have a daughter, kindergartner. He would treat all kids the same till the wedding planning came. He picked his son as the ring bearer and his 3 daughters as flower girls, but had no role for my daughter. I asked if we could add her to be a flower girl just like her stepsisters, but he refused without explaining. He just kept it short, saying no. My daughter heard the girls talking about it and said she wanted to be the flower girl as well, and I brought it up with Adam again. He told me 3 was enough to be flower girls and there was no spot left for my daughter. I said we could make them 4 and add my daughter. Why not? He said it wouldn't work for some reason. I insisted and he suddenly snapped and told me it was not a huge deal for me to be so worked up like this. I said my daughter wished to be among the flower girls and wear and do what they do, and his daughters aren't somehow superior to mine. He gave me a nasty stare and said, so this is what it's all about. Then told me that I was being ridiculous and quite toxic with this my child, your child mentality. He insisted that he treats all kids the same and that he can't believe I questioned that over some nonsensical issue as the flower girl. We had a full-blown argument and he said I wasn't acting immaturely by insisting on making this a big deal and choosing it as a hill to die on. Am I the idiot for choosing this hill to die on, or am I being unreasonable? For those who are confused about the age of his twin daughters and son, he got both of his exes pregnant at the same time, take or give a few months. He divorced his first ex, then went on to marry the second ex, then later divorced her. Let me get this straight. In the span of 4 or 5 years, this man has got his first wife pregnant, cheated on his first wife, possibly while she was pregnant, got the mistress pregnant, divorced the first wife, married mistress, divorced mistress, dated and proposed to you successfully. Busy guy. OP prepared to be cheated on, he has a pattern. Now he's being mean to your daughter for an unspecified reason. Not the idiot. Die on this hill and reevaluate if he is worth marrying. Seriously, just that small bit of history she shared about him would make me run and is a giant red flag. She def should not marry this man. He got 2 women pregnant simultaneously and this is the dude you want to marry? Marry some self-esteem and save your daughter the therapy. Grab your daughter and run. Do not marry this man. If this is how he treats your daughter now, how will he treat her after the wedding? There are 4 little girls. If 4 is too many, then there should only be 2, 1 his and 1 yours. Why should his 3 get to be a part of the wedding, but your only daughter is not? Why do you not have any say in your wedding? Will you have any say in any decisions after the wedding? Yep, he is showing you who he is, and your daughter will always come second to his kids. And in what world does he get to make all the wedding decisions anyway? Please, for your and your daughter's sake, break this off. How is this not enough for you to blow off the engagement? What would you say if his daughter, as an adult, brought someone like him home as a partner? Hey Mom, this is Greg. He got someone pregnant while he was with his pregnant wife. Then he divorced his wife, married his mistress, then divorced her too. But I want to marry him. Geez, it makes you wonder why his other baby mum has left. This is an absolute example of gaslighting, and he does it knowingly and deliberately. You haven't said how long you've been together, but given his previous relationships and timelines, it can't be more than a couple of years. The honeymoon phase of your relationship can't be far from over, and now he's showing you who he truly is. He hasn't learned anything from his 2 failed marriages and doesn't value you or your child. Don't make the biggest mistake of your life. Walk away now. My mother-in-law is a Muslim, so her prayer isn't related to eating, but something she has to do 5 times daily. My mother-in-law always pulls this stunt of waiting right until the food is already served at the table to do her prayer. It doesn't matter whether it's lunch or dinner, so everyone is forced to wait for her till the food has gone cold. She would always say, "Go ahead, don't wait for me, I don't mind the cold food," but it would be rude not to wait, so we end up waiting, and when she's done, she reiterates we didn't have to wait for her and that we should have eaten first. So this time I was really starving and decided to take her word for it. Everyone kept telling me to wait, but I told them, "Sorry, I'm just really hungry, you can all wait if you want," and then took a part of the main dish to my plate and started to eat amid various dirty glares. When the children saw me eat, they also couldn't hold back anymore and boldly reached for the food. Then everyone ended up also eating except my sister-in-law. When my mother-in-law came out, she was shocked when she saw everyone eating and the much more skimpy main dish. She said, "Why, yes, do help yourselves. You've stuffed yourselves full already." My sister-in-law immediately jumped in to single me out as the perpetrator who started this while everyone else remained quiet. I told her I thought you didn't mind us starting ahead, and she said in a sarcastic tone, "Oh, you thought I didn't mind, huh? Your parents never taught you manners or how to respect your elders?" I extend politeness by saying that, but people who have some manners would know not to dig in like a pig. Others started to intercede to calm her down, telling her things like, "Don't mind her, she's young," while mother-in-law retorted that at her age I had 3 children, etc., and then told them I'm not eating her food and went back to the room. I still found it funny and childish even after we left until my husband scolded me when we got home. He asked me whether I was satisfied now and why I couldn't just be patient, that I knew exactly what I was doing. But even if I knew exactly what I was doing, I believe there was nothing wrong with it, and I'm tired of her pulling these kinds of stunts. But at the same time, I did cause unrest within the family and stirred up things knowingly, which might make me the idiot here. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Normally I'd say her house, her rules, but deliberately always waiting to pray until the food is ready and then forcing everyone to wait for you to the extent that their food gets cold sounds like a power trip for her. Her reaction was then extremely immature and passive-aggressive. Sounds like she knows what she was doing and isn't used to being called out on it. Why isn't your husband mad at her for insulting you in front of everyone? She knows what she's doing and doesn't sound like a nice person at all. I'm glad you enjoyed your food while it was hot. Your husband needs to learn that his mother is not always right, because he knows this is a power trip for his mother and would rather steady the boat his whole life when it comes to his relationship with her versus calling her out on her crap. He's a coward, and this is a typical transference of anger as blame. That said, the best way to win this petty little game of hers is not to play. They all know this is BS on her part, and they're all too chicken to call her on it, minus her yes-woman and sister-in-law. You're not cooking anymore for them. There's no point in wasted effort and cold food because she does this crap on purpose. Sister-in-law can throw on an apron. To that end, have a big meal before you get there. When it comes up, point out that there's no point in you going hungry that long and you're not interested in eating hot food gone cold. Super petty option, if you continue to cook, don't turn a damn thing on until she goes to pray. Sit down with a drink after doing prep and then find someone to chat with. When someone asks, "Why haven't you started cooking?" "Oh, well, there's no point in starting before mother-in-law goes to pray, so I'm just going to wait for her to go so she can have a hot meal when she's done." Put on the most sickeningly sweet voice when you say this. Pull out a snack, offer some to the kiddos and wait her out. She'll crack, or someone else will. Either way, you're off kitchen duty on that visit. I, teen female, have 3 sisters, Ali, 18, Michelle, nearly adult, and Lucy, young teen. My stepmom favours Lucy and my dad goes along with it. The vacation we're about to go on explains the situation pretty well. My stepmom's friend owns a cabin and we go there every few months. We always take 2 cars when we go because we put the 3rd row down to make room for our bags, then there isn't enough room for everyone. It's always me, Ali, Michelle and my dad in one car and Lucy and my stepmom in the other. It sucks driving with my dad. He hates stopping and we always have to listen to old music. Lucy and my stepmom always stop for Starbucks and sometimes even go shopping. If we ask to go in their car, they say no. Then there's the room assignment. The cabin has 3 bedrooms. There's the master, a room with a queen bed and a room with 2 bunk beds. Unfortunately, Lucy always gets the room with the queen bed to herself and Ali, Michelle and I all have to share a room. We suggested rotating the rooms, but they always said no. We're sick of the special treatment, so we told my dad we wouldn't go if they won't make things fair. He didn't even try to compromise. Instead, he called his mom and asked her to babysit for the week. My sisters are thinking of giving in and going, and my dad said we're being brats, so I wanted to know if we're being idiots because, at this point, it's either give in or lose the vacation. Edit, they say it's because we bully her. We don't even bully her, she's just sensitive and can't handle a little teasing. We do it to each other all the time. She's already in therapy 3 days a week. She'll be in therapy at least until her 30s. She still has a lot of anxiety from when our mom died. We think she was the only one there when she died. She was a toddler and clueless, so we aren't exactly sure. She thought mom was sleeping. So her first form memory is of her mother's death. That's traumatic. You bully a young teen who's already suffering from mental health issues and think that's okay? You not only don't deserve the special treatment, but you also don't deserve to go at all. Your little sister needs a break from you and your idiot sisters. What's wrong with you? Lucy isn't the favoured child. They're trying to give her a safe space from her awful sisters. Bullying is bullying. It doesn't matter how you feel about teasing, it matters how the victim feels. Hint: Lucy is the victim. The way you used sensitive makes you sound cruel. You are the idiot. Be a better human. You've got to be kidding me, OP. The room situation is actually understandable now. Your dad and stepmom are keeping Lucy away from her sisters who continually bully her. For God's sake, she's a very young teen. Your sisters are basically adults and you are old enough not to do that crap. You will be the idiot if you go because you and your bully sisters will ruin the trip for everyone else. You should be in therapy to understand why you feel the need to bully your sister. Therapy will help you not become a mean, judgmental adult that nobody wants to be around. I'm 22 male into learning languages. It's a hobby I have. I can speak 4 languages now and learning a 5th. So recently some friends and family gathered to watch a football match at the World Cup, Spain versus Germany. My sister's boyfriend and my boyfriend also joined us to watch the match. As the match was getting more interesting, we started talking about some players from both countries and I mentioned some. At this point I was speaking Spanish and wasn't pronouncing the names correctly as if it was German because that's nonsense. I mean, I was speaking Spanish and pronouncing names in other languages is just weird, so I just pronounced it as a Spanish-speaking person would do it and in a way that it makes sense in the language since some German phonetics don't exist in Spanish. So as I stated above, my sister's boyfriend was there too and he started correcting me to show me how to pronounce the players' names correctly. He got them all wrong. I didn't say anything the first few times because I was just enjoying the match, but then he became so annoying correcting me at every German word I said. He didn't know I speak German. I speak 4 languages, but I don't usually go tell everyone. So I was tired of his behaviour. I told him in German, "I had no idea you speak German. Maybe we get to practice once so you help me improve my pronunciation." I know my German isn't perfect, but I know more than him. He didn't get a word because he doesn't speak the language and my sister looked at me angrily, so our other friend started laughing at him and he seemed angry. My boyfriend, who was also a little tired of his attitude and came from Austria by the way, started speaking German to me and we exchanged some words. The match ended and everyone left. He also left, but my sister was mad at me for humiliating him and she told me that he was mad because I should have told him I spoke German so he wouldn't have looked like a loser. I swear I didn't do it to humiliate him. I was just tired of his attitude and wanted him to stop. And I thought it was the only way. It worked, but I'm also refusing to apologise as my sister wants me to because he's the one who started this. Not the idiot. Why are either complaining that you humiliated him when he tried to humiliate you by repeatedly correcting you? If you wanted to be a smart aleck, he should have been ready to be corrected. I wasn't pronouncing the names correctly as if it was German because that's nonsense. No, it's really not. A person's name should be pronounced the way they pronounce it if you're able to do so, even if the rest of the words you're saying are in another language. You're wrong for trying to show up, not just shut up, your sister's boyfriend by showing off your language skills. But he was being an idiot too, trying to mansplain how to pronounce all the names, so everyone's the idiot here. Agreed. It's annoying to have someone correct you constantly, so I understand that would get on your nerves, but your behaviour here was weird and showboaty too. He was technically correct about the name pronunciation thing, but you both might have a bit of a superiority complex and an incessant need to be right. I, 30 female, have a set of triplets. Their father is supposed to get them every other weekend, but he rarely gets them. Maybe once every few months if he has a girlfriend he's trying to impress. So my daughters are mixed. I'm very particular about how they look most of the time. If we go out in public, I make sure they look good. I make sure their hair is done and they have very nice dresses. 99% of the time, if someone sees my girls, they look magazine-worthy. However, they are toddlers and you just don't put a pretty dress on them when they go to the park to play. I had taken them to get their pictures made for Christmas, and after we went to the park because they deserved a reward for being so good. So I changed them into some really warm rompers and coats. They also had hats and gloves. They were not nasty or anything, but playing in dresses in the winter is just a no. They needed warm play clothes. My ex called and asked what we were doing, and I told him we were headed to the park. He wanted to see the girls, so I told him to meet us at the park. I assumed he would be alone, and I kind of assumed he wouldn't show up at all because it was very out of character for him. He showed up with a woman and a child. He immediately got angry with me because the girls weren't wearing pretty clothes, they were wearing winter play clothes. He also complained that one of the girls' hair looked a little messy. She's a toddler and messes with her hair. Of course it's messy. Also, she was wearing a winter hat, so you could barely see her hair anyway. I told him no, I wasn't going to put them back in their dresses, and I wasn't going to keep fixing her hair just for her to take it down again. It's stressful for her and me. She was happily playing and didn't care at all. Anyway, he was very angry, and I'm not sure if I was being the idiot or not. The woman he came with apologized to me for his behavior, but I told her not to worry about it. Edit to add, he's always been particular about outward appearances. He's always clean-shaven and meticulous about his hair and clothing. Nothing can be even slightly dirty or messy, so I wasn't that surprised he immediately was upset about their appearances. Not the idiot. He doesn't help you with the triplets, but then shows up out of the blue just to criticize your parenting. I'd remind him that they have 2 parents, and he's welcome to be involved with dressing them and doing their hair anytime he likes. I hope this idiot is paying child support. He villainizes you for taking care of your child. Yes, of course it's a good idea to risk my children getting hypothermia to impress a man who doesn't care about them. Whoever that man is, he's a wretch and a leech. He only wishes to impress based on living, breathing things with feelings that care and cherish. He uses living children as show and tell for his new fling every other week, which is gross, but ultimately he fails when he can't keep up the perfect parent facade in front of his newest prey, a mother who sees right through it. And he was being so rude that a woman he brought along, possibly his girlfriend, who you'd never met before, felt compelled to apologize to you, his ex, for his behavior. Wow, how many more barrels can he scrape the bottom of? Then tell him he can dress them how he likes the next time he bothers to pick them up for his appointed weekend.